The name of NASA's most powerful telescope is still controversial 1 month before its launch. A former NASA official named the telescope for James Webb, NASA's second-ever administrator who oversaw the moon landing program that would grow the agency into a major scientific force. NASA says Webb did more for science than perhaps any other government official. But to astronomers who have criticized the naming decision, Webb is also known for holding a high-level position in the State Department during the Lavender Scare of the 1950s, during which LGBTQ federal employees were identified and fired or forced to resign. The name of such a revolutionary telescope should be a reflection of our highest values, a group of 4 astronomers wrote in Scientific American earlier this year. Webb worked at the State Department during the Lavender Scare before Webb was appointed by President John F. Kennedy in 1961 to lead a then-fledgling NASA and oversee its Apollo moon program. He was Undersecretary of State for part of President Harry Truman's administration. In 1950, a State Department official testified that the department had fired 91 gay employees because they were deemed to be security risks, actions precipitated by Senator Joseph McCarthy's baseless linking of homosexuality and communism, according to the National Archives Prologue magazine.
Webb and 2 White House aides then met with Senator Clyde Hoey, who led the committee, to establish a modus operandi, Johnson writes. Archival documents, shared online by Columbia University astronomer Adrian Lucy, also showed Webb participated in a meeting with Hoey in which they discussed how the committee's hearings would proceed. Astronomers have urged NASA to change the name for the telescope, an idea first conceived in 1989. Was selected in 2002, according to the scientific journal Nature, by former NASA Administrator Sean O'Keefe. Webb, who died 10 years earlier, was considered an unusual choice, since most telescopes at that time were named for scientists. In March of this year, less than a year away from the long-awaited launch of the Advanced Telescope, 4 scientists in the astronomy and astrophysics fields wrote the Scientific American article calling on NASA to rename the telescope. The group wrote that while many astronomers feel a debt of gratitude for Webb's work as NASA administrator, his extended legacy at best is complicated and at worst reflects complicity in homophobic discrimination in the federal government. Now that we know of Webb's silence at state and his actions at NASA, we think it is time to rename JWST, the Quartet wrote in the March article. The astronomers who wrote the Scientific American piece also launched a petition to rename the telescope that has since garnered more than 1,700 signatures from experts and students in the field. In response, NASA said in July it would investigate claims of Webb's participation in discriminatory practices. After that investigation concluded, though, NASA decided to keep Webb's name. NASA hasn't publicly shared the results of its investigation. A Tubman telescope, Prescott Weinstein said that, in naming future NASA projects, the job shouldn't be left to one person. She suggested NASA create a formal mechanism for naming projects that require major public investment so the decision-making process is a more democratic one. The University of New Hampshire assistant professor suggested another name for the first-of-its-kind telescope, one her co-authors supported, Harriet Tubman.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.